By now, you should all know what a voiceover analysis is. It means this video is on a more serious theory or topic related to taekook. One thing you have to keep in mind is that I talk about what ifs with you in this channel. I give you theories that might be false or true, but the possibility of it happening is there. If you're here to talk about your own theories as facts or educate me on something you think is right, do us both a favor and please just leave. Trust me, I've heard it all. To the rest of you, please watch carefully until the very end before anything because it's going to be a complicated theory. I'll give you a few explanations that some of you might not know and then get into the actual theory so you can understand me. One of the theories I talk about in this channel is the possibility of taekook actually being a real couple. I also brought 3 theories related to it. I said that if they are indeed real, 3 things can happen: SI, CIO, or CO. SI, or stay in, means they're going to hide whatever they have, no matter what. They might show a few fan services, but they won't show what they have, or they do their best to hide whatever they have. CIO, or coming into open, means that if they are real, they might act a bit free, show some of the signs that they are real, but they never actually confirm it officially, just giving subtle hints, you know? CO means coming out, and as the name says it, it means they try to get out of the closet little by little by giving armies some hints. These are all possibilities. With that said, this video is going to focus on things that had been going on in the past 2 or 3 years, starting from 2017 until now, and it's based on the theory that says they are actually real. It's also going to cover the separation theory, which follows the SI theory. You might have heard a lot of taekookers saying that 2017 was the separation year. But what does separation even mean? It means it was a year when we could barely get any genuine taekook moments because most of them were either caught or taekook were told to be careful with what they do. Keywords: genuine and barely. 2017 was a very clear sign of what SI theory means. They were there. Every once in a while we'd get moments, but they were very subtle. Or people could just shake them off as coincidences or fan service. And most of them usually happened after a very big taekook blow up. This wasn't even only on 2017. If you follow their journey, you'll see that every time something big happened, we got on a taekook hiatus for a while. For example, around February or March, when they were filming Burn the Stage, they barely showed Tae and Jungkook together, and when Jungkook was sick, Tae was sent to an empty dressing room, clearly looking distressed, and then after it, he had to wait outside of his room, and the only thing that let us know about this was a very small glimmerance when the camera was turning off when he was going out. It was because all their moments in Burn This Stage were either cut or butchered. Then they got a bit more freedom with Bon Voyage and some of the concerts. Tae goes on a trip with Bogum, his friend, and everything seems more chill. Then on April 2017, when Jungkook was doing a live and both Jimin and Tae joined him, Tae kept telling him to end the live, and Jungkook was like, "Hey, I'm alive. Why? Why would I do that?" And Tae just deepens his voice and says,
우리끼리 오붓 대화를 하기 위해.
왜 끄라 그래요? 방송인데.
우리끼리 오붓한 대화를 하기 위해.
You can translate it into to have a private conversation. But here is the interesting part. It also refers to making out between a couple. Right after Jungkook just ends the video with a smug smile, and Jimin even imitates kissing by making kissy faces in front of the camera. K-Army was actually very surprised to a point that they trended what Tae said. So to put an end to it all, BTS members started posting lots and lots of posts on their Twitter page to distract people from what happened. And it kind of worked out actually. But after that, we got less taekook moments for a while. But then a month later, everyone's attention were really distracted by Billboard. So taekook got freer again to be normal around each other. in US, and a bit later Tae even posted a few tweets of himself and Jungkook sleeping in the same room to watch a drama. The tweets got a lot of likes and retweets. It actually became the most liked and retweet post on Twitter for a while.
먹어.
And a lot of people were wondering why Jungkook was sleeping in Tae's room. They wondered if they're sharing a room in their new dorm or not. And then, unsurprisingly, for months, we didn't get anything. It was just Tae going out with his Harang Hyungs and Jungkook hanging out with his other friends or Hyungs. They also filmed their dorm for the next comeback to stop the rumors. But they said Tae was sharing a room with Namjoon, even though he clearly wasn't. Even the doors of their rooms didn't match with each other. We could barely even see them standing next to each other in any Ron episodes. Even if it would happen, they would change it afterwards. And they kept singing or recommending breakup songs or the songs that were about having to be away from someone you actually love. Most of the scenes they showed were put there in a way to make people think it was just fan service, and it was just crazy. The boys seemed upset, the tension was crazy, and they were barely interacting with each other for months. While we'd get tons and tons of interactions between them and other people. So with the whole SI situation around, you probably get the surprise we felt when it changed out of nowhere. BTS went on a break after January 2018, and despite that, we kept getting taekook contents from left and right. A lot of them were scenes that were cut from Big Hit on 2017 when people were losing hope on Taekook. And suddenly we were getting them all. It was strange, but the boys looked happier, and we were happy for that. So we welcomed it. We believed that maybe they were moving from SI to CIO. We were happy to know more about them. They were more open, but a few months later, the boys started talking about disbandment. It was a heartbreaking news, but we knew something was wrong because they mentioned that they were talking to their company about renewing their contract, and it was taking months. I said it before and I'll say it again. I don't think the disbandment had anything to do with Taekook. I think they were just overwhelmed with everything that was going on with the band itself. But I think that was one of the reasons Taekook were more open than before in that year. If you remember right, that was when we theorized about a possibility of them coming out. Jungkook kept hinting on wanting to say something, but he didn't. And even after they came clean about the whole disbandment thing, Tae said that there were some things that he wanted to share with us, but he couldn't. But he promised us not to be afraid next time, for his heart not to shake next time when he wants to say it. It's interesting that that was the time they were both trying to come clean about something, and it was also the time they were very open and free about showing their interactions. So it went from SI to CIO to CO, but when the contract was made again and they decided to keep going, CO went back to CIO again. It means they didn't say what they really wanted to say, but they stayed free and showed their interactions freely. Keep what I already said in mind, and let's mention a few more things. Ever since I made my channel, I showed you a lot of theories. A lot of them were things I mentioned for the first time, and some of them were things all the fans knew, and I tried to bring up and complete them. This match theory was mine, and I noticed on January 2018 because as a website that outs couples and even was rumored to know about LGBTQ plus couples, it was interesting how much Big Hit gave contents to them. They made a lot of money out of BTS, and it led me believe that they had a contract with each other. The contracts that Dispatch forms with others usually happens because they agree not to say some of the things they know about the groups in exchange of photo shoots, interview, or basically the same things that Dispatch is gaining out of BTS right now. I don't know what they have against Big Hit, But Big Hit gives them a lot of clout all the time. It was also interesting how much Dispatch was subtly promoting Taekook contents, even on things that weren't even Taekook related. This was what Dispatch theory was about. But here is the thing. It's interesting that starting from 3 or 4 months ago, Dispatch started doing the opposite. Instead of showing Taekook, they started promoting them with other people. It's still Taeyoung and Jungkook, but it's with them and some other members or some other people, which is very interesting. Remember, they have a contract. And obviously, when they find out that they weren't that subtle, they're gonna change their system a little bit to cover up the suspicions. Another theory was my moon theory. I actually made a video of what it is, but basically I said Jungkook was about to represent the moon and shine the way for other people like him, to show people something, and I said it was also related to Taeyang. Then a bit after it, Jungkook posted a picture of himself inside the moon on Fan Cafe, and we also got a commercial of both Taeyang and Jungkook staring at a big moon, which was emphasizing the whole moon thing. One of my theories was about them lying about their dorm situation. I said that Tae and Namjoon weren't roommates, like they were trying to say they were. And I also mentioned that Tae and Jungkook's place seemed to be connected by a door. I mentioned how they sometimes sleep, that they shared a room, etc. Then the next time they changed their dorm, what they showed was really strange. First, they only said that Jimin and Hobie were the only ones sharing room. And then in Army Kid, they said that Taekook were also sharing a living room as their room. And then we heard how confused they were over their own dorms. The rooms they were showing didn't even look like they were from the same house, and Jungkook was constantly showing like he was living in a closet, which makes no sense whatsoever. Even in an interview from one of Tae's actor friends, they said that they stayed in Tae's house, which made us wonder which house if he's still living in the dorm with the boys. It was like they knew we knew, so they just wanted to play with our minds to confuse us, so we won't know what is really going on about where they live or who they living with. Another theory was the I love you theory. It was a secret way of communication between Taeyoung and Jungkook before. For example, Tae used to say I love you to Jungkook when he couldn't do it in Chile during the Born This stage. We were very, very lucky to catch it. They used it a lot, and Jungkook even got a tattoo of it and wrote peace sign under it. And as you know, V is the peace sign in sign language. And now suddenly they normalized it by making it an album thing. They started showing it all over the place for this album and made it seem like it was always a hint for this album, while it wasn't. It was secret. We were lucky to catch it on fan cams, and Namjoon himself said that they came up with this concept after Love Yourself albums. It was another theory that got butchered. It even happened with Bon Voyage. I made analyses of the first 2 seasons, and I showed you how they kept cutting Taekook moments and how they seemed to manipulate some of the situations a few times to make it look like Tae didn't care. For example, when he spent all his money to buy food for himself, Jungkook, and Hobie, and they made it seem like he just got everything for himself and some cheap fruit for them while they could starve. Jungkook literally kept showing everything Tae bought for him off to the camera, but they wrote, "Oh, the fruits are from Taeyang." They didn't even show the scene he gave it to them. But do you want to hear something interesting? Both of those videos got blocked worldwide by Big Hit after I posted them. They're still available in my website, but that is the reason you can't see them on my channel anymore. They did the same with the analysis I made of Tae calling Jungkook a friend, and Jungkook was like, "Friend? Call me right." But he didn't care about calling other people that way. It was under fair use, and they didn't even strike it because if they would, I could get it back. But they actually blocked it worldwide, so I couldn't really do anything about it. And all I could do was putting it on my website. But that was the reason I found out that hey, they're actually doing this shit. And it's interesting because in the first ones I said that they were cutting scenes and everything. And the next time we got Bon Voyage, they gave us a lot of fan service. But they did it in a way to make it look like, hey, it's just fan service. There's nothing there. And we're showing everything, even though there were still cut scenes in there. Look, we're showing you all the scenes of them sleeping in the same bed together. But hey, they have to do that. There's nothing else, and they don't even interact in the other times. Even though if you pay attention to some of the scenes, you'd see that a lot of the parts were cut in a very strange way. You get what I'm saying, right? Every single time something was mentioned, we got something about it in return. It either opened a new chapter of meaning or got normalized to make it look like it was never a thing to begin with. But it was all done by the company. Even their concert moments got butchered. DNA was a fan favorite song, and they removed it because it was one of the biggest taekook interactions on the stage. They even stopped dancing to Anpan Man a few weeks before the end of Love Yourself concerts. And it was one of the things that all taekookers always looked forward to, and it's gone. Little by little, their interactions on concerts started to get butchered. It made me think, what if the SI situation is coming back, but in a smarter way, like what they did with Bon Voyage after we called them out for cutting scenes? What if the company is using our own theories to mislead us? The separation theory is a thing. Remember that we only got one live from them over the years, and it was Army who asked Ted to join someone else in his own live. We only have one look between them, and it's just Jungkook in front of the screen, and we can hear Tae's voice in the background. We haven't got any selcos of them since 2017. Their scenes get cut over and over, but also keep in mind that Tae and Jungkook always leaves hints for us, either with their covers, the 123 theory, or how they said they wanted to tell us something on 2018 and never did after they made another contract with the company. I don't care about the company, I care about the boys. And to me, they were always subtle in showing us what they had. And they were very happy in 2018 when they were more open in showing themselves more. I know that every time they saw a taekwook, they looked happy and smiley. I know things have changed since 2018, and it seems like the company is using our own theories to make us more confused, which is also something I get because they're trying to keep the fans happy. But to me, the boys' happiness is more important. Then there was also a theory I mentioned about Tae and Jungkook being associated with red and blue a lot. I mentioned this a few months ago. And I said the reason was because if you mix them together, you get purple, which is the color of love and trust based on what Tae says. Tae even associated it with rainbow once because it was the sign of pride for LGBTQ plus community. After that, they changed the colors. Jungkook went with purple and Tae went with green. Jungkook even pointed at Tae in one of their latest concerts when he pointed out that everything he was wearing was purple lately and made them both laugh. But the reason Tae started holding a different color than they usually did is still a mystery to us. It made me think that maybe now they are showing a new sides of what they want to show us because they know we know the previous meanings and now they want to move on from it. And I think to find out about what the clues mean, we have to actually wait for more clues to figure it out. The reason I made this video is because I'm not the only one who noticed the changes. Countless of people come to my Twitter, my Curious Cat, my Instagram or Tumblr asking me why or what is going on. Some people starting doubting, and I can't really blame them with everything that had been going on. But if you're wondering why, this can be one of the reasons. Because this time, the SI is happening by normalizing what we figured out before. I get it. We don't want another 2017. But ask yourself this, how can something suddenly become nothing? There's a rule in physics. It says that something can never become nothing and nothing can never become something. As fans, what we have to do is supporting the boys despite our beliefs. It's true that now what I do is going to be harder because whatever I say might get manipulated into something else or normalized. But that alone shows that there is something that they're trying to change or hide. And that change doesn't come from the boys, it comes from the company. It comes from editors, the people telling them what to do in concerts, etc. Things change very frequently. This is just another theory analysis, so let's just keep the analysis and analysis and understand the changes that are coming. So cherish the subtle moments we get, and don't forget everything that happened in the past. This album is called Speak Yourself. Namjoon said that it's a letter to ARMY about who they are, and it's the first one out of more. And we might hear more about who the boys really are. All I ever asked you was to keep the possibilities in mind, have your own beliefs, and support the boys throughout everything. And that's what I'm asking you again. Let's stay positive and keep supporting them.